Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from roblandphoto.com, and in today's little video we're going to be looking at this little beast, the Lastolite Xpobalance Calibration card. But we're going to be looking at it in terms of how it can help us with improving the colour balance and contrast and look of our dSLR video, particularly for this particular case as I'm recording videos for YouTube. So let's have a look at it. As you can see, the Xpobalance pops up, and basically it's a fancy grey card, but instead of just being grey, we've also got white and black, and then we've got our, I think it's 18% grey, and then on the other side we've got 18% grey, and then you've got one stop brighter and one stop lighter, really for photography stuff this side, for if you wanted to play around with the exposure and post-processing. But this is the side we're really interested in. Now, as I say, normally this is a stills photographer's tool, but I thought it'd be interesting to have a play around with it, so you can actually see the difference it will make on a DSLR video, and in this case this is shot with my 600D T3i Canon DSLR. If you can imagine, so what you would do is you could set your white balance or your exposure from the grey bit, and then you can set your white point and black point in your video post-processing software. In this example I'm going to be using Adobe's Premiere Pro to improve the levels, you know, to darken up, to add contrast and brightness to the photo as well. Now, whenever you're thinking about doing something like this, where maybe you've got a problem with colour or contrast, or you just want to improve the look of the video, it's really important that you have a controlled environment. So I'm sitting here, this is our house, I'm in our dining room. I've got two daylight balance bulbs sort of to my right and my left, with the camera in the middle, and they're daylight balanced, and so my camera is the white balance is set to daylight, and that's quite important. Now, I do have a large sort of bay window to my right as well, or camera left, which is letting in ambient light, but to be honest, outside there's like a canopy as well, so that ambient light is quite suppressed, and there's probably light bouncing around, but hopefully any differences in the sun or the clouds outside aren't really affecting the ambient light very much. Now, I do have my camera set to auto ISO because that's controlling the exposure for me. But again, in this environment, I'm in the corner of the room. Most of the light is going to be coming from my two lights left and right, so that's really set. Because if you're wanting to make any adjustments, if you're in a situation where the ambient light or your main lights are going up and down all the time, if you can imagine, any changes that you try and make have got to be an automatic change. And I've already done a tutorial. I'll put the links in the show notes on YouTube or on the screen if you're using a compatible device at the moment, where I go into detail about how you can use Adobe's Premiere Pro to play around with different settings to improve white balance and contrast. But for me, I think the most important thing is try and get it right in camera. And what you're seeing at the moment now is how the 1080p high definition files are coming out of my 600D T3i. I haven't made any changes to them yet at all. And so, you know, in my opinion, it looks pretty good. So we're just really seeing whether the Xpobalance, for its, I think, cost me £35, you know, is it worth playing around with it for video, or should I just keep it for the stills? So as I said before, we can set the black, we can set the white balance, we can set the white tones on it as well. Now, the thing that I want to really get right in this sort of video in terms of colour is really my skin tones, because I've got these daylight balance bulbs here shining on me, but I've also got my computer screen. Now, I have dimmed it down, but it'll be a very blue light that's coming up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of put this close to me sort of now, and then in Premiere Pro I'm going to click on the grey bit. And then, you know, you can see whether that's made any difference or not. It's probably quite a subtle change. But remember, a lot of the time with video, what we're trying to do is create consistency of look across a number of videos. And this is what something like this tool can do. Now, for the next bit, where I'm going to set the black and the white, and I think I might even do the grey points as well, I'm going to put the Xpobalance just back here a little bit. The reason for that is because these lights, although they're not super bright, they're only rated for 100 watts. When you get very close to them, they actually are, very, very bright. And if even with the dark side of the Xpobalance, if I have that very, very close, we'll start getting some sort of reflection off that, and that will spoil it and make it difficult for me to do the levels. So what I'll do now is I'll click on the black bit, and I'll click on the grey bit, and click on the white bit in Premiere Pro. And can you see any difference? Has it improved the contrast a little bit? Just maybe made even the colours slightly richer. Now, you wouldn't do it like this, obviously, in the real world. You would start your video, you would start your audio recording, excuse me, and you would then have your Xpobalance or your grey card in front of you, to do your skin, and then back to do the levels, and then you would take it away and then carry on the video, and then obviously edit that part out of the video completely. But you can see for yourselves, has this made a difference in the video? One thing I should have said actually right at the beginning was watch this video in the highest setting. So go down to the bottom in YouTube and set it to the highest setting, 1080p, and watch it full screen as well, so that you can actually see any differences as they happen. And I don't know, what do you think? I think the Xpobalance for stills photography is a really great tool to have in your bag, because when you're out taking, especially portraits of people or product shots, you can put it in the scene, take a picture, take it out of the scene, and then use that photo as a reference for your post-processing, to make sure skin tones are correct or product colours are correct. And then if the lighting changes or you move to a different location, you then put it in the scene, take a picture. And it's a really good way of getting consistent, professional looking white balance and colour and contrast in your photographs. I think for a videographer, it's a good tool, but at £35, it's quite expensive. But I guess look at the video yourself, compare what you see now with a uncorrected portion of the video, which is at the beginning, and ask yourself, does it look any better? And if it does, go for it and pick one up. Okay, so my name's Rob from robnunphoto.com. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you do, please subscribe, or put some comments in the notes at the bottom on YouTube. You can contact me, scalespeeder@gmail.com, and hopefully I'll see you again pretty soon.